No, you're insane!
Hello, and welcome to the Madhouse, episode 59. I'm Ultimate Spy 53, the host of this show, and this week I have two guests.
Hi, I'm Lucas.
Hello.
In person. Hello.
Yeah. Cool. Alright. So, sorry we missed last week. We were a little busy. We didn't get to have the episode. But the week before that, we were able to do a discussion on the process of filmmaking. An interesting idea that I've really been fascinated about, wanting to, ask people's opinions about. This week we still have a light cast because some people are so busy. But then again, the show will much go on, and we've been off this show for far too long, and I think we should get back to it. So, on the first part of this, me and Lucas talked about the process of filmmaking. We had our ideas, but now we have another person who can share their opinion on it. So Steve, what do you think is how is a movie made? Like, what do you think goes into the process of making a movie?
I think that movies are made by, like usually they have actors on set.
Yeah.
Actresses, whatever. Fucking dog people. But yeah, they have them on set. And there's a director who has a script that's written by a different guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want you to say this or do this in this fashion.
Right.
And then we added all the effects, all the CGI and all that stuff after they're done filming.
Right.
And they have all these special things that basically make it so that it looks like someone's doing something, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's also enhanced by CGI.
Right. And a lot of yeah.
Like, whoa!
Yeah, of course.
They use like wires and stuff like that.
True, yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
When they bring it into the editing room, they use CGI to edit that stuff out and kind of make it look like they're actually going, whoa!
True, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like last week, or sorry, last time we were on the show, I was kind of confused about both me and Lucas were confused about this, because I brought it up, I'm like, why am I saying this, because they don't even know, and, the idea of, like, how making a movie is different from making a television show. Like, what do you think what is the difference? Like, why did some movies take longer to film? Like, so for example, an example is Star Wars 8. That took, like, they finished up production about halfway through the last year, and they're still editing it. Some movies where they film for a few months, they take less time to edit. Why do you think that is so?
Some movies, they have that sort of look to it, I guess.
Yeah.
They have that much time put in. Because they're basically trying to make sure that it's really good. I mean, look at Star Wars 7. Look at how detailed everything is. How the attention to detail. They're trying to do that with Star Wars 8.
Yeah, because it was actually something I've been on my mind, like, well, Black Panther finished filming, and that's gonna only take 7 to 8 months to in post-production. Star Wars 8 finished filming in I think it was July of last year. They're still editing it, and it's not out until December. Why did this movie get more glory than this movie? Just like, what the fuck? It makes no sense.
I don't know. I think it's just because it's Star Wars, the more well-known brand, and people expect it to be really, really good and to have a lot of time put into it. So when it takes longer to make, people are more like, okay, maybe they're just trying to make it as good as they can.
Yeah.
Because they kind of see that, and they understand that because Star Wars is a beloved franchise.
True.
Well, and after Force Awakens made as much money as it did, I think they probably were like, oh wow, we could really pour a lot of money into this, we're still gonna make it back. Exactly.
I mean, there are a lot of movies out there there are a lot of movies out there that get made, and they end up being terrible, but yet they still get, like, sequels. Like, for example, this past episode of Reviewed I did, and I reviewed Fantastic Four, the 05 movie. that was a terrible movie. It scored a little more than the Fantastic, but I liked it a lot, and yet that one still got a sequel. I mean, think about it. A movie that scores 27% on Rotten Tomatoes can still get a sequel. That's a pretty incredible feat.
What matters to the studio.
I mean, I like those movies. I mean, it's the fact that even bad movies, I mean, bad, quote that, can be ending up making a sequel. I mean, seriously. But, like, I feel like that's the process of making a movie is depending on if you want to make more movies, it depends on if the previous movie made enough money. I feel like that's a big factor in that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a big thing with animated movies, and animated movies are becoming a lot more popular now. Like, for example, Cars 3, all the Pixar movies, DreamWorks, they're making new movies. They're becoming more popular because, like the originally Disney started out with hand-drawn, and that took a long time. Like, hand-drawn, stop motion up is a big one.
Yeah, stop motion takes forever as well. But I mean, like, modern, like, computer animated films take just as long as, like, the old hand-drawn Disney films.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for example, Coraline, which is one of my all-time favorite movie, that took a long time. I think they started in 2006 and they finished in 2009. So that's 3 years of making a movie based off a book.
Well, you gotta remember, I'm using a lot of clay animation, and did you realize how long it takes?
It does take a long time.
Clay animation.
I mean, it's amazing, but it's like, wow. Stop motion is crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, now Leica... Yeah, but, like, now Leica, who's the studio behind the stop-motion movies, since Coraline came out, they've been using 3D printed models now. When they're using their models, they use 3D printed models. And, for example, I saw Kubo when it was in the Crest, before it finally came out to Blu-ray, and it was a beautiful movie, because Leica's amazing. And it was crazy because, like, 1 second of film from that movie took 3 weeks to animate. I'm not kidding. I mean,
wow.
3 weeks for 1 second.
Did you see, like, that thing during the credits where
oh yeah,
like the animation of the giant skeleton monster?
Oh yeah.
The time lapse?
Oh my god, really? Yeah, that was so cool. I'm like, wow. I mean, like, I think one of my favorite moments from Leica's history is when I saw the box trolls on my birthday, actually. I think it was on my 17th birthday. I can't remember. Actually, I think that probably more like that. And at the very end of the movie, they have this little snippet where they have the characters talking to you from the screen, and they're like, if my arm does this, that's a whole day, or if my blink, that's like a very, very, very long time. It was like, wow. So I feel like stop motion is, as amazing as it is, it takes a long time. I mean, seriously.
It does.
It's crazy. Like, I saw a snippet from Coraline, my favorite movie, and they had a scene where Wybie was driving down on his motorbike, like this, and then that whole thing was like, it's like, wow. It's amazing. It's like, it's crazy how it can take that much time. I mean, it's the same with movies. It's amazing. I just love it. It's like, it takes so much time to do stuff. With, like, animated movies, like, for example, a lot of the old movies that are hand-drawn. That takes not only skill, but time.
I'd like to point out how Miyazaki's films are, like, the best ever.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What? What was it? What are you saying? You like those movies?
Huh?
You like the Hayao Miyazaki movies? They're
My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away.
Oh, I've never seen those.
Never seen those movies.
My parents are more into, like, Disney and stuff.
Ah, right, okay.
But we've always been a Disney family.
Speaking of Disney, like,
They're so good.
Disney is one of those studios that makes amazing movies. I mean, that's the thing with. Yeah, I mean, they're amazing movies, and they take the most time for, especially with you know, because speaking of because this episode is about process of filmmaking, those movies take the most amount of time.
Yeah, I know the basic as premise of them, but I heard that the guy who created them is basically like the Japanese equivalent of like Walt Disney or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Because he's a retired Japanese filmmaker, but he also came out of retirement to make one last movie. And the fact that, like, so you see some of the behind the scenes, it's like all of them use like watercolors and they're all hand drawn. It's just like,
he retired like 5 times before making Rises. Like,
yeah.
He was going to retire after making Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
And then he decided to make Spirited Away, and then he was going to retire after that, and then he made Houses and Castles.
Yeah.
And then he was going to retire after that, and then he made Ponyo, and then he was going to retire after that, and he made The Wind Rises, and now he's like, okay, seriously guys, I'm actually retiring this time.
I think the one important thing that comes to animated movies, it doesn't matter what kind of animated movie it is voice acting. If you're making a movie that's animated, voice acting is the key. Not that it's like, what am I watching? So, I feel like that's the most important thing because voice acting comes after you animate. You don't realize that, like, you don't really realize the step, but it's like, it's after.
On the production, like
yeah.
Some studios will do the voice acting beforehand, some will do it after.
Yeah.
And then if you're like dubbing into another language, obviously you already have the animation and have to do it afterwards. Like,
for example, I was watching a behind-the-scenes video for Logan, the new, the Final X-Men movie, and it was a sequence when Hugh Jackman was doing a lot of like running and yelling and everything, screaming, and weirdly enough, that was part of the movie. That was part of editing the movie. Is that he had to like make the like when he was acting in the movie and then doing post-production, he still went in the studio and did like some noise, some like sounds like, what are you doing? So it's interesting how making movies like that happen, and those movies take a long time, especially with X-Men Origins of Wolverine. I was noticing like one movie I did like, even though it didn't turn out too well because of the Deadpool that they had in the movie. But hey, they tried. I saw everything great about that movie, and they tried. And one of the things that I noticed in those movies that makes making X-Men movies harder. Is that they stopped using practical effects for X-Men movies. Like, most of you have seen X-Men Origins of Wolverine, I imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So there's a scene, the first time we see Logan with his claws, they're actually CG, and that made fans upset because, like, the editor's like, you know, let's just add CGI claws. And that didn't make it work out so well. But
when did that come out? Like 2008,
2009. 2009, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, it was before they really figured out what they were doing with CG. They didn't look very good. So Steve,
what are your thoughts on that moment in the X-Men movies?
On the X-Men movies?
Yeah, when they started using CG claws.
Huh?
Remember when they started using CG claws for Logan?
Oh, actually they've always been using CG claws.
Well, I think they were trying a more practical approach, and they were actually using prop claws. But after that, they did use some CGI to make it look like it wasn't that bad. But after a while, they just stopped using, you know, practical effects. I think they were using. They were using practical claws for a while, and then they started using the computer to add in that kind of stuff because.
Was CG in like the first movie?
Yeah, because I remember that happening, and because I remember when he pulls out the claws in the jumpsuit. Those are, I'm pretty sure they're actually practical claws, and I think they do some editing with the CG, make them, you know, look better, but they're still. I don't know how it works, but I mean, it's an interesting thing with making a movie is that all those things, editing is the key, especially, and also, I mean, if you're making a movie, some of the actors have voice acting with it, like some of the early movies in Hollywood history, like for example, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that had CGI animated characters with the live action characters, so it was.
That movie was weird.
It was weird, but it was also one that had animated characters with the live action, which was a very interesting idea. But with those movies, you have to have the actors actually react to the animated characters, and that's hard. That's not an easy approach to it. But like animated movies are the best example because I feel like they're becoming more popular. Like I mean I feel they are, but I don't know if they are or not. But I don't know. Like live action movies are taking up the spot, but like they do well. They do well for what they are. Steve, what are your thoughts on animated movies? Like, do you think they take out more time with editing or what?
What, animated movies?
Yeah. Do you think they take out more time?
What?
Do you think the animated movies take out more time?
You said they should have more time.
What? Yeah.
I mean, I do believe that they should put, time and care into it. I mean, look at movies like, I don't know, most Pixar movies and how, some modern Disney DreamWorks films, how they have beautiful animation. And some of them even have, like, amazing stories.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it is a good idea to spend more time on it.
Yeah.
That you can perfect stories, perfect the animated one. Because if you think about it, animated films are technically art.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So I feel like an art piece, you should focus as much time on it as you need until you feel it's really good.
That's true. That's really true. Like,
I mean, that's why I remember a time when there weren't sequels coming out every year. Or sequels, I mean, they came out every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Usually they were a lot better.
Yeah.
They took more time to carefully plan it out, carefully craft the pieces.
Yeah, like with storyboards. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because they gave, I mean, that's why the Star Wars movies are so good.
Yeah.
Because they spent a lot of time crafting the story, crafting the characters, and the setting, the props.
Well, they spent a lot of time on each of the prequels as well, so I don't necessarily think time invested equals good movies.
There's also the people, still.
Yeah, but I feel like with some of the older animated movies, like the Shrek movies, I noticed before they before they went into the computer, while they were the first draft of the computer animated stuff, it looked okay. It was still kind of crappy. You could tell it was not finished yet. And then when they actually added the lighting, effects, visual effects, all that extra stuff, the animation, making sure the characters actually worked, and using a sample of something else and seeing how they moved. The finished product is actually amazing because look at the early Shrek CG, when the computer animated stuff, you see it early. It's like, what is this? And you look at the movie, it's like, how did this go from that? Editing and time and people who actually know how to use a computer. Okay, that's the big part of it, is those movies, especially movies that have good voice acting, like Shrek movies. But Star Wars, that's a good example. I mean, and the prequel trilogy, they use green screen for most of their stuff. I know it didn't look all that good when you saw it in behind the scenes. It's like, why are these in green screen? But really, when you see the movie itself, the green screen is meant to put flying spaceships and everything. It looks amazing. You can see it, you feel like you're actually living in an actual space city. It's really cool. It's all the actors are on a green screen. It's like, don't they think that's weird? No, because when you look at the movie, you see the green screen taken away, and you see all these amazing visuals. Heck, even the speed scene in episode 2 looked really good because it was all these lights and effects, and it was just really cool.
Well, like I said last time, the funny thing about that is the Kevin Owens, that Obi-Wan was talking to in the second one. While they were actually shooting it, it was like a guy in a green onesie on a long stick.
It's like, if you all saw it in the movie without the editing, it's like, what is this? And it's like the movie, and you go to the movie, it's like, how did that turn to that? What? And it's like, well, that's, when you edit a movie, you add CG and you put the computer graphics into the character and then make it look good. Because otherwise, it just looks terrible. And that's really important to have. I just feel like with animated movies, they spend more time because it's all animated, especially with like 2D ones. I think the last 2D animated movie that came out was Princess and the Frog, I want to say. I mean, it's been a long time since they did hand-drawn animation. I think.
Major 2D animated in America. I mean, there's been a bunch of 2D animated films elsewhere, and there's been like smaller budget ones, but it's not like Disney level.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, they're making more like 2D shows for like Netflix and stuff, but like I'm talking about the new ones that have come out from like Disney and Pixar, like Inside Out or any of those like you know, I feel like Pixar is doing more.
They do 3D animation.
Yeah, that's true. But like I feel like with the Pixar stuff, it's becoming more and more like animal characters or not anything like actual good stuff. And the new movies, they're becoming like I think Inside Out was the first like actual human based Pixar movie instead of like before Toy Story, because like when I did my review of Toy Story, I pointed out that the technology that Disney and Pixar had in making Toy Story, it was really good for a 1995 movie compared to what we have now. It's like, wow, the technology can advance and you maybe can look really good in the theater. And that's why movies take so much time to edit, because editing is the one thing in movies that take forever. Like, that's why earlier I was talking about why Star Wars takes. I mean, actually Steve brought up the reason why Star Wars movies take you know longer to edit, because they wanted it to look good. I mean, despite the fact that we already have a trailer for episode 8, it's still not done yet. Like, we still have 7 months to go. I think 7 months to go left on the movie, and that's still the reason why they do that is because they want it to perfect the movie. They want it to look amazing. They don't want a movie that it's like, here's 4 months of post-production, here you go. It's like, you missed something here, you missed something here. It's like, you're gonna have mistakes, and hey, even when they're done with the movie, you're still gonna find mistakes in the movie. That's the bad stuff of movies and with editing, is that you miss stuff. You miss all this stuff. Okay, so actually we have Trey joining us later in the show. Sorry, we forgot to switch things, but yeah, Trey's back. So anyway, as I was saying with why certain movies take longer, because like, for example, when Star Wars ended shooting, I was surprised that it was like, it's like, wait, it still has like a year and 5 months of post-production. Like, Black Panther just finished filming and they have only like 8 months to go. What the fuck? So it's like, I was confused about that. So,
well, of course, we're talking all the special effects.
Yeah.
Makeup and all the editing that goes into the movie.
Exactly.
That makeup alone takes hours. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
On just Drax the Destroyer, he wasn't able to sit down for.
I know. I heard about that. Yeah.
On set, he sat.
Yeah, he leaned on something.
5 hours long.
Yeah, I know.
To be fully done every single day.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy because like some movies, like Star Wars 8, the trailer, that trailer premiered in April, and it's like we still have like 8 months to go. It's like, it looks done. No, the movie is not done. Just because you get a trailer does not mean it's done. It still has a lot of editing. Some of those things you see in the movie don't even make it in. Like, that's the problem with editing. Some movies, there have deleted scenes that don't make it in. That's the
trailer that never made it into the movie.
Yeah, like, there's some movie, like, yeah.
You'll have 4 months, and that's all in Infinity Stone editing,
yeah.
Another editing. Yes, we are confirmed for an Infinity Stone. Sort.
But yeah, like, I mean, yeah. For example, Thor Ragnarok. That trailer was the most confusing trailer with the editing, because they showed at the end of Doctor Strange, you have Thor meeting Doctor Strange, and then it's like he has we have Thor with longer hair, and then in the trailer you have him fighting Hulk with short hair. It's like the editing kind of goes crazy. It's like, where did he? Yeah, because the editing is kind of goes crazy like that.
The beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that's where it's like that's why editing takes so much time, because you have to like.
Doctor Strange and
yeah.
Loki are on Earth in the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this though. on that note, I will say we are getting a new character who has not yet been seen, but is apparently beloved. And so, Stan Lee.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, we are supposedly getting a brand new character who has not yet hit the screen on any of the movies, and that discounts the Thunderbolt Ross, General Thunderbolt Ross, because he was in the Incredible Hulk movie, the credit scene where you see Robert Downey Jr. as a fireman in that bar.
Dude, you're a bit robotic.
Yeah, you sound a bit robotic.
Again.
I have got all cyber guardian.
Yeah, you're now a robot. You're a Terminator now.
But yeah, like a lot of movies where, like, for example, Marvel Studios. It's crazy because, like, with editing, like, I've seen a lot of the behind-the-scenes video or scenes pictures of, like, post-production with Iron Man. It's like when you see Robert Downey Jr. and Don Cheadle in their Iron Man and War Machine armor. Before you see the movie, when you see the behind-the-scenes, they use, like, motion capture, and after the editors do their stuff, you see the movie. It's like, well, how does that look? How is that CG? But it's like, it's the power of editing, because post-production causes you to see the
the extra stuff, like the light mechanics, just the visual effects, like the fire, the repulsor blast.
Exactly, the flight, everything like that. All that takes editing time. All that is editing.
They're all machine behind. The armor itself has to be built, destroyed, scratched, buffed, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Don't forget also the just for the tape of Dutch had to be completely fluidic in it, except for Jarvis has an animism.
Yeah. Jarvis is an example, because he had the voice of Paul Bettany. Yeah, the voice of Paul Bettany in there, and that has to be in post-production. You have to add that in, the voice of it. That's the big thing with both, like I was talking before about animated movies, is voices are really important because you have to do the voice acting.
All of these small little things that incorporate, like the magic or Scarlet Witch that she uses for Ryan.
Exactly.
That was all animated, but they had to match that to it.
Yeah, exactly.
There are lots of things that go into post-production after just filming.
Yeah, exactly, and a really great example of what?
Sorry.
What was that, dude? Oh, okay. But a really good example of a animated movie that spent the most time on the hair alone was Frozen, and also Tangled, but Frozen mainly because for Queen Elsa's hair, that was like something like 700,000 strands of hair. That was crazy. For a really good movie like that, you get all that editing. Exactly. You want to. I mean, besides the phasing of the hair in the one shot, that was weird. You remember that? There was a scene where she's singing "Let It Go," and the hair slips through the arm. It's like, what am I watching? How does that physically work? How can the hair pass through the arm? What the fuck? So, that was an editing mistake, but it was. It was all editing because you have to get the shading, the lighting, all that. Like, that should look like the castle. That was a lot of editing right there. Wow.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Did you know that, and this is related, did you guys know that the scale on Smog the Dragon keeps alone, a single scale, took 3 weeks of editing.
Oh my god.
And rendering. And that's with 14 computers working on one scale.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing with motion capture is that all, like, you see Mark Ruffalo in motion capture. When you see the movie in the full, it's like, oh, that's the Hulk, and it's like, no. When you see it before, it's like, the editors have to go take Mark Ruffalo in the computer and then render him render the Hulk based off of that, and then actually base Mark Ruffalo off the Hulk, and it's a long process. It takes a lot of time.
Animate the Hulk over over again. They did all the muscle work, everything.
Yeah, big monsters like that.
That's how you transform slowly into the
Yeah,
Hulk.
exactly.
That's because they were working so perfectly in sync, and movies are insane. Certain effects.
Yeah, like Godzilla and Abomination, all those big monsters in movies. Even King Kong got it too. Every movie monster in history has gotten the treatment of long editing time.
I love the effects of King Kong in the trailer. I haven't actually seen King Kong, but the trailer and that are just insane.
I mean, one poor example of editing was in the King Kong movie from Peter Jackson's Thera movie that I actually saw, and there was a movie mistake in that movie with the actors. When they put the dinosaurs in the movie, they didn't really react. It's like, oh, they're running away from dinosaurs, but they didn't think the dinosaurs they hardly thought the dinosaurs were there. I mean, with a movie like that. Yeah, the movie didn't do as well, but with movies now like Jurassic Park, when they react to dinosaurs, it's really good. Like, whoa, dinosaur! Oh my god, that's editing right there. Because, practical effects.
What I will say on the whole dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
We're also excellently.
What was that?
That was phenomenal prop work.
What?
The
Oh.
prop work on just Jurassic World
Oh yeah.
was insanely good.
I know.
Shattering of the amber. That was having the tail just smash into the amber.
Yeah.
Actually looked like a real tail smashing into it.
Yeah.
Animated.
I mean, a big thing with the Jurassic Park franchise is
not animated.
Yeah.
But the tail was.
Exactly, and like the big thing with the Jurassic Park franchise is the very first movie in 1993, the first animatronic dinosaur, they had a rain problem because their scene was supposed to have rain in it, and they had to figure out, because they had an animatronic dinosaur, they had to figure out how to get the rain to like not make because the rain would go on the dinosaur and like break it. It would literally break it, and it's like, how are we gonna film the scene? It's supposed to be a scene with rain, and we have a robot dinosaur that is supposed to be all robotic and electric, and we can't do this. So they had to figure it out. Or obviously some of the stuff was CGI, because you can't have dinosaurs and not have CGI, because it's impossible. I mean, like Jurassic World. That's an example right there.
Yes,
yeah.
But the sculpting that goes into the model work itself is insane.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a lot of editing. The editing for like post-production for CGI dinosaurs, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Real.
Takes forever.
I mean, the Jurassic World ones look realistic. I mean, you could probably run from that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why the sequel to Jurassic World will have practical effects, meaning more animatronic dinosaurs, which is good, but they're still going to have to use some CGI, because otherwise they're not going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Mean, with the trailer of the Valerion movie.
Yeah, visual effects.
Which is by the same people who did the my mom really loves, and I actually really loved the Fifth Element because it's a really great movie.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
yeah, of course. Yeah, and those movies, like,
greatly animated.
Yeah.
The makeup work phenomenal. The aliens
look what?
Just insane.
Oh, okay, insane. Yeah.
City of 1,000
yeah,
planets.
That looks actually really fun.
Now, I really want to see it. Valerion and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah, that's the movie.
It's based off of a graphic novel.
Oh, right, I've seen the trailer for that.
I know, I seriously want to go because the makeup work was phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
The effects were awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, me, being me, go through and pick out and nitpick every single word.
Exactly. I mean, one big part of
gone with the newest Marvel film.
Yeah.
Recently, and still I may or may not have nitpicked single animation bit.
Yeah. But like, for example, a lot of the movies, a lot of the sci-fi movies, the visual effects alone take months. Like Star Trek, the reboot movies. Those.
Have to stop you right there.
Yeah.
That has the best Hollywood opening.
Yeah, exactly.
Just right now.
Yeah.
At least Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Steve Kovoc dancing in the beginning of the film with the monster raging around.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron rainbow lasers. And then Drax just smashing the music box and Baby Groot just like totally angry at him.
Yeah, exactly. That was awesome.
Opening.
But all that is green screen. All that is green screen.
Animated.
Yeah, exactly. That was amazing. Like, James Gunn does a good job. Yeah, he does. It's amazing how that works out. I mean,
love Guardians 2, and I'm one of those people who will spoil a lot of movies just on the animation and like movies based on the amount of animation, based on the quality of the animation.
Yeah, exactly.
How good it is. I mean, seriously, if they put years worth of editing and sequences into a single movie,
yeah,
and
totally.
Released it, animation is so fluidly well done.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah,
go out
totally.
As soon as it comes out, swag from that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's insane how some of these animation for movies are. And of course, this is not including makeup work.
Yeah, that is a long time, yeah.
So much makeup work is done in Guardians 2 and Guardians alone.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the animation for Ego is really well done.
Yes, totally.
And
I
love
really
the
agree with
fact
that.
they actually pulled in a unscripted.
A what?
The Pac-Man reference in the first part of.
Oh.
The first Pac-Man reference was unscripted. The writer loved it so much, they wrote in the second Pac-Man reference.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Wow. But yeah.
You see Peter Quill in this giant Pac-Man.
That was really cool.
Fine.
And that's all editing right there. That's really good editing. That's part of what makes a movie so good. I mean, obviously, the script is the most important thing. Without a script, like I mentioned in the first part of this, a script is really important to have. Well, improvising, yeah, is also a thing, but you can.
Are a main part of it.
Yeah.
So is character design, the costumes, and by the way, George Clooney has to have fat nipples.
Yeah, that made the movie really bad. Yeah, I agree.
That thing should not exist.
Yeah.
Fat nipples should never exist. I am sorry.
I mean, they still had poor effects, and that movie didn't do well at all. And
I pull up a picture.
yeah.
I can actually pull up a picture.
Well, I know what they look like. You don't have to do that. I know what they look like.
We don't need reminding.
But yeah, like I was talking about with animated movies, they are really, I mean, a lot of the movies originally Disney, all that hand drawn, that takes a long time. Like
certain movies, yes, are insane. And actually,
I think the opening thing, the opening Disney theme with Mickey, not just that, but the Mickey doing this on the boat and the every Disney movie, and also the big Disney intro. That's a long time. That's like months. It's a long time. Yeah, Steve Willie, and also the Disney intro with the the castle and the tram behind it and all that stuff. All that is CG, and a lot of people don't like it as much, but it's crazy. And also soundtrack. Don't forget soundtrack. That's really good to have, because like that's making a movie. Some movies don't even get into production. Like for example, the Zelda series. That never got into production, like at all. And that's the sucky part.
No, we don't need a Zelda movie. We have the game. I'm sorry, we don't need the movie.
Yeah, but like some things where they get a pilot and the pilot happens, and then they don't have anything, or for example Doctor Who, they had a TV movie that wanted to relaunch the show after it got canceled, and that never happened until it did eventually get renewed. But an example for Doctor Who, I feel like they have the best special effects I've ever seen. Like seriously, I mean I know those of you who don't watch Doctor Who, wouldn't understand this, but
I will have to show you guys something that is insanely well done.
Yeah.
Favorite animated movie.
Yeah.
No, I'll show you it. One of my favorite animated films is Secret World of Arietti.
Oh yes, that's a good one. I haven't seen that in a while, but I should. It's actually, I remember seeing the Borrowers. I remember seeing the Borrowers, and that actually was inspired by that movie. Actually, the Borrowers took inspiration from for.
Come on.
I mean the crazy thing about the Borrowers in the relation to Arietti was that that movie with the editing taking the scaling down of the characters. I mean, you see that in like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, but like this movie, The Borrowers, but also with Arietti, but Arietti is animated in Borrowers live action. It's the same plot, same general plot, different characters, I think, but it was the idea of these small humans, and that's a lot of editing. You have to scale the characters down, and that's part of making a movie is the process of taking these actors and skimming them down to make them look small. That's a lot of work. What? Well, yeah. So like you said before with the Arietti, that's a good example because those movies, like, they have animation, and then they have voice acting, and then they have I think the hardest thing that comes with animated movies, with the process of filmmaking with animated movies, is getting the voices to match up with the mouths of the animated characters. That's hard. It's really hard. That's like the most. It's really difficult to do that. I mean, it's been done thousands of times, but it's the most hardest thing to do in filmmaking with matching up characters' voices. I mean, it turns out to be really good in the end, but it takes a lot of time. I mean, seriously, if you notice it, some animated movies, the voice of the character does not match up with the animated character at all, and it's like, oh my god, really? It just looks terrible that way. But some of them are pretty good. Like a lot of animated shows. I mean, like going to the show aspect of it, a lot of shows. For example, a really good show from Rooster Teeth Productions, Red vs. Blue, and later Ruby. Those both are based like Red vs. Blue, based off of the Halo series, and they have voices, and they use that when they're playing the game, they get the characters to bob up and down as if they're talking. And then with Ruby, they use I think it's Premiere Pro, or it's in one of those big animation studio programs that they use, and the characters are bright, but they still have really good animation. Like seriously, from what I've seen so far in Ruby.
Working on up until he passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I was actually shocked, even though I didn't actually know the guy. I just knew that he was from Rooster Teeth because I'm a big fan of Rooster Teeth, and I love a lot of their shows because they have amazing content. But a lot of the shows they do, like Ruby, and also X-Ray and Vab, which is one of the 2D shows. It's just a crazy when you see the editing process behind the scenes of these videos. Like, wow, like a lot of the work they do takes forever. Like, it takes months, and then you finally see it. It's like, wow.
Did you follow Monkey on Twitter before he passed away?
I didn't. I unfortunately, I hadn't really seen him much in video. He was like rarely on any content. He was like on one of the RT podcasts, and he was in a production diary. He was not in a lot of stuff. I didn't really get to see him a lot. He was in some Archie Life, but he was not in a lot of their shows. So I didn't really get to know the guy, because the way I get to know employees is from the Know, which is their news channel. So they introduce themselves, like, I get that, and then like, but this guy, as much as awesome as he was, when I saw the news he's dead, I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. I didn't really know him, but
Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah,
he posted just these like little just around with character models.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, seriously, the animation in that show was amazing.
Flying across school campus, and then he's like, Ruby, when you realize you're late for class.
Yeah.
Goofy that.
I mean, I think the one thing that made Ruby a weird show, and it's still a good show, as much as I've seen it, is Ruby Chibi, which is a new show from Rooster Teeth.
Oh my gosh, I love Ruby Chibi.
I haven't seen it yet because I'm needing to catch up, but they have a lot. I mean, a lot of their shows are really good, with especially animated shows like Red vs. Blue, which has been running forever. That when they first did it, the voice acting was not very good because they didn't have the right. The software wasn't the best. But now, I mean, even with that show, those shows, and had their live action movie they made, a lot of different shows are getting are amazing. Like the How to Train Your Dragon series, that has gotten its own spin-off show with the same same voice actors. I mean, seriously, you got a show that looks the same as the movies, and you get the same voice actors. That's pretty rare. Well, except for one. I think one didn't come back, but yeah, it's a big process with animated movies because it takes a long time. I think it somehow dropped out. I guess I don't know where he went. I think he might have. His computer probably doesn't like him right now. But it's amazing how that process happens. Like it's just amazing what goes into movies. I mean, some movies out there, I'm just kind of like, like Cars 3. Sure, we'll see it. I don't know about it though. It just looks kind of okay. It looks okay. But some of the movies out there that take the longest time to make are ones that had the longest gap in between sequels. That's what I've noticed, is that movies that take longest to make are the ones that have the longest gap between sequels. Like, for example, the Pirates of the Caribbean series, which finally had its 5th release this year, as of this month. And that one took 6 years to make, or 6 years to actually make into a movie. I don't think it took 6 years to actually make, but it took 6 years to actually develop and actually make. Because the last movie...
The movie I liked was the first one.
Yeah, I liked all of them, but like, I feel like that's the one franchise... I mean, yeah, in the early movies, they had shut back to back, but some of the movies, they just kind of... The post-production is a lot of work, especially for, like, superhero movies. Superhero movies are the ones that take the most time, because they have all this CG and the Hobbit movies, all that special effects. It's just motion capture nowadays is becoming a thing. They didn't used to have that, now they do. It's amazing how far we've come in the technology we've had so far, and the scripts are getting they've been getting better. I think anyway. But it's just there's a lot of work. You gotta have a good writer. You gotta have a good director. Some movies don't even have directors. They cycle through directors. Some directors, they don't return for the next one, which is what made some movies not as good as others. I think I'm repeating stuff from part one of this. But yeah, Steve, what do you think of things like this? Like, why do you think some movies, take longer than others, and why do you think some movies don't happen at all?
Why do I think what?
Why do you think some movies don't happen at all?
Some movies don't happen at all?
Yeah, why do you think... Yeah.
Well, I think that's because sometimes they're not able to get the funding, or maybe they're just like, oh, this doesn't work. Let's stop making this. Maybe there's just not enough people who are willing to do it. Who knows? Yeah,
true. Yeah,
I mean, that's how
I agree with that. It's just like, I feel like a lot of sequels... I mean, we're in a world of sequels, and with making sequels, they take a lot of work, and some sequels don't turn out good after all. I mean, some of the actors don't even come back for the sequel, which makes some movies like Diary of a Wimpy Kid terrible. Like, I was so disappointed that movie even came out because I never saw it, and the books. Sometimes that's the thing with making a movie, is the books can be so much better, especially if you're making a movie based off a book. The book can turn out to be so much better. Like, they can leave out so much. Because, like, a single page from a book is like a minute on screen. That's actually true. What is your opinion? What are you guys' opinion on that? How are books affected differently with just movies in general?
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, how do you think? Why do you think book to movies are different from just regular movies? Why do you think they're like, why do you think they don't do as well sometimes?
Well, just because they're so different.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when they're making an adaptation, rather than playing to the strengths of whatever medium, they try to just do exactly what happened in books and put it on screen, rather than understanding what made the books good and doing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like some like television. Yeah, go ahead.
It's like the difference between the Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter movies were accurate to the books. Like every scene from the books had a. Not every
scene. They did make some mistakes, but they were pretty on track, I think.
They made some minor changes, but it was still the exact same thing. Lord of the Rings movies changed a ton. They completely changed the order and everything. But it was to keep the tone and themes of the book. Yeah,
exactly. I agree with that. Yeah.
So like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I agree on that. Yeah, like some television shows, if they're based off a comic book like The Flash or any other show like that, they have to, if it's supposedly based off of an actual source material, they have to actually get good with the source material. Like The Flash, which is the most comic book oriented show out there, they have to be as good, as consistent with the source material as possible. They have to make the costumes look good. Maybe change it from this comic a little bit, but make them, similar. And like a lot of the shows, like Arrow, for example, like in the comics, the character is called the Green Arrow, and it wasn't until season 4 of that show that they finally adopted that name. He went for like 3 different names, like I think 2 different names until he finally landed on the Green Arrow. But it's just an example, like with TV shows, they take more. Well, they don't really take more time, but they take. It's hard work. It's more hard work because, like, I mean, they're shorter. The episodes are shorter. Like there may be like 20 to 40 minute, 22 minute or 42 minute long episodes, maybe even an hour. But I just feel like TV shows, a lot of them are good. A lot of them are. Some of them they're not very good because of maybe the actor didn't return for the TV show, or they've completely changed the art style. Well, this isn't really a TV show, but it's an example of something they did where they changed the art style from the sequel. I've never seen this movie franchise, but it's called The Swan Princess, and they basically, for a while, they had a 2D movie with the direct-to-video sequels, and I think it was like 4 of the movies were all 2D, and then for like the next one after that, they completely changed it to 3D. That's what affects movies, is if you change the art style. That's what really affects it. And that's what, with making a TV show or a movie, the big process is if you decide to change the art style. Does it make sense? Are you with me? Yeah. Lucas, you with me?
Definitely important.
Yeah. Because, like, for example, Ben 10 and also Pokemon, both shows got a redesign. And that's really big when you're developing a show. It doesn't matter if it's a live action show or if it's an animated show. But it's mainly like art style can change with a animated show, and it can really drop the ratings. And it can possibly even get canceled. I think that's a big thing. So what do you think is the biggest setback with making animated shows and also TV shows? What do you think is the biggest setback?
I mean, I guess it depends on the show.
Yeah. Do you have a theory as to why people change their art style of shows?
I mean, usually it's just like staff change. Like, it's not the same people working on a show for 15 seasons or however long Pokemon's been going at this point. 20 years. Okay, 20 seasons.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah. That's the big thing with it, is that I mean, one thing I noticed about the new anime is that Team Rocket are the only characters that did not get redesigned. Ash, everyone else got redesigned. It's really interesting because, for example, in The Simpsons, the original show, when they're developing the show, like the first season of that show when it was in development, when it was being animated. I mean, the actors. What's incredible about that show is that the voice actors have been doing their voice work for nearly 30 years, which is insane. I think that's incredible, because The Simpsons is like 26, if the 27th season already, and it's the voice actors are still voicing the characters. I mean, originally The Simpsons didn't even look like they were looking like now. They looked like completely different. I mean, they looked similar. They saw the yellow skin, but it was way different. I mean, I think the voice acting aspect of that is important, but like some of the voice actors that were voicing characters actually died, and they had to figure out how to work with the characters. But think about someone who's been voicing a character for that long, like Sarah Nattertenney, who's been voicing Ash since well, a long time, a while, so several years. She's doing the same voice for that long, and it's like that's the big thing with television shows, and also actors who are in television shows, like The Flash or any of those other shows. The actors will still continue playing the character. Like, for example, Smallville, which is a big example of a long-running television show, which is based on the early days of Superman. Those actors were in the same role for 10 years. I mean, also Harry Potter, the same thing that happened with Harry Potter, but it was a big thing that those actors stay in that role for 10 years. But it's like, how do you do that? How do you make a show keep going with the actor stay in that role forever? How do they make that work? Do you have any ideas? Like nearly a decade with some certain shows. I think it's crazy that the actors will continue playing the same role in television, and that's what makes it different from movies. Is because some actors with television, they will continue playing the same role for years, but with movies it's a lot different because they can recast people, and an actor will decide to not play the character again. Because, you know, TV shows give you a lot more time and a lot more episodes, and you get to see the character more often. And that's what I feel like the difference between movies and TV is that the actors are staying in the same role for years. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
What any opinion about that? Any thoughts about that?
Not really. I mean,
I just think it's amazing that that's the thing with filmmaking, with television is that you get to spend more time with the character. And some of the casting can be perfect, like Robert Downey Jr., who I could never see anyone else play Iron Man than him. I just feel like that's really important to have with making a movie and making a television show, because television shows you get a lot more time. And I was actually looking at an article about Marvel movies and Marvel shows, and the fact that with Marvel shows you spend a lot more time with the characters. With the movies you only get like a couple hours with the characters, but with the television shows you get hours of adventure. That's a really amazing thing about television, is you get more time. But with movies, you get maybe like 90 minutes to 2 hours or more with movies, which isn't a whole lot of time, even though it does seem like a lot of time. It just is not a lot of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any more thoughts about that?
Not really. I'm sorry.
Steve, anything?
Not really, not really.
Okay. Actually, I think that does it for this episode, actually. I think we've all expressed our opinions about the process of filmmaking, and I think we've covered up everything we can think of about this, the people who are here, anyway. So yeah, I think we might come back to this idea one day, but for now, I think we should take a break from it, wrap it up here for this episode. But anyway, thank you for listening to this episode of The Madhouse. I hope you all...
Episode of Madhouse.
What was that?
Movie tech issues.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a very interesting episode, I think it was. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to this interesting discussion, part 2 of the process of filmmaking. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, make sure to subscribe to Steve's channel and Trey's channel. They have some good content. They don't have a lot of subscribers, but if you give them your support by subscribing to them, they'll really appreciate it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back next time for another episode. I think next week is episode 60. That's a big number, 60. It's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah. Alright. Bye.
Alright, yeah. Hasta la vista.